All right, let's do it live on a First Friday Miracle edition of the program. Merely Bo, the great Z, and quite honestly, you may need a First Friday because is the opposite of Apex Nadir?
It is.
This is Nadir Cleveland. This is it. This is the worst. 38.
I don't even want to say my fun hello because it's so depressing, and it's not going anywhere for quite some time.
We're locked into this for a while?
Yeah. Your
I haven't even
shacket
looked.
is spectacular, by the way.
Thanks,
That's
brother.
giving me joy.
Well, your shirt's giving me joy, but I just wanted to see.
Let's go.
Are we really
Art
locked into
Andrea.
this? Are we really locked
We're locked
into
in this for like 2 weeks.
Oh, my God. Flood warning?
I'm hearing that Good
Oh, my
Friday
God.
might actually be good, though. There could be, and it's a day that we have off.
How
Isn't this Friday?
75.
You're not
and a
going to
sun
golf,
cloud
though.
mix.
It's going to be a
But isn't
sponge.
Isn't it wet?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's going to rain from here till Friday, but yeah.
I mean,
But-
it is. So, yeah, 79 tomorrow is the high.
Yeah, we go back 70
I even saw an
yesterday,
80 in
44
my-
today.
My town that pops up
Back up.
saw an 80, an 8.
I'm going to tell you this. If I were, I'll tell you a really good industry. Tree removal.
Yeah.
My guy Mike crushed it today.
McHale.
Crushed it.
Had a couple big boys come down.
Had some big boys come down. He went to work. But I'm telling you, that is, you want to talk about occupation where there's going to be food on the table for a long time in a big, big way around here with those storms? Oh, baby.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Every
That's a good
week.
one.
More. More.
Yeah, we're going to go 42, 79, 76, 80, 49.
49 when? Like Monday?
Sunday. We're going to go from 80
Oh,
on
happy
Saturday to
Easter.
49 on Easter.
No one's going to
And
get
rain.
sick from any of that.
This is our 4th week in a row where we've had a 30-plus degree back-to-back day variable. And now because this is, depending on how you look at it, if you want to go Saturday into Sunday, some people like to start their weeks with Sunday,
Sure they do.
then that would be 5 weeks in a row where we've had a 30-plus degree change in consecutive days. We had for a while, we had 2 weeks where we went 70 into the 20s,
Yeah.
back-to-back days, which seems...
That's what that Montana gets that because they have this incredible
fronts.
spine of the Rocky Mountains that
Sure.
go right through the state, and so you get those massive swells. We don't. Usually
I haven't
get
seen
those
any
here.
mountains around here.
No. Few hills.
Few
No
hills. Yeah.
mountains. Lovely Gamecocks.
Yes.
It's a great logo, isn't it?
It's a great logo. Young Art Andrea
Let's
will
go.
be attending.
Buckets.
That's right. So that makes her what? So she's going to enroll in the fall of 26. So that makes her 27, 28, the class of 2030.
2030.
Class.
So Arden will graduate from college the same year NBC graduates from high school
That's right.
because he's a 2030.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Boods will be sandwiched right in between.
Right in
them.
between and
Yeah.
28.
He'll be a class of 32, and NBC will be a class of 34.
Yeah, they'll be locked in. That's exciting, man.
It is exciting.
I'm excited
It's
for
exciting.
you because while you went to school in the South, and I know that you bounced around and had some fun and frivolity at various places, I'm excited for you to go to an SEC campus, visit your lovely daughter,
Yep.
and partake in what makes a big game on campus very special. And
Same.
we need our bye week to line up with a home game
Or
for
a
them.
Thursday nighter.
Or a Thursday
even a Monday
nighter,
nighter.
even a Monday nighter, something where we have some alignment so that you can get there and get to a home game.
Yep.
And then quite honestly, and it's crazy, but like I think you would love going to like a baseball game there.
For
Their
sure.
baseball.
I might even
experience there
take
is
in a
incredible.
women's hoop game.
Yeah.
They're a
Or
powerhouse.
even the men if they play somebody. Yeah, Don Staley. Yeah, you're
Now I have a women's Final Four team to root for.
Oh, that's right.
I got 2 teams in the Final Four, one in each bracket.
So yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah, I'm very
excited.
excited.
I'm excited
I'm
for her.
excited-
Excited
yeah.
for you. It's going to be fun.
I'm excited for her as well. She's juiced. It's it's a very cool thing, and it's funny because I went to Emory. Arizona basketball has been kind of my one college team.
Yeah.
I'll root for Ohio State here and there, and I know people are gonna say you can't do this. I'll root for Michigan here
Sure.
and there.
The kid.
Because I got lots of friends who went to both of those places, and coming into Ohio from California, it makes sense. But now it's cool. Like now I'm gonna.
You got a squad.
Yeah, I got a squad. I know that they're so good right now. Unfortunately, the football team's in a bit of a down.
Well, they were supposed to be really good last year. They were a preseason top 12 team last year. Shane Beamer and Lenora Sellers, the quarterback. So you're going to have Sellers is back.
Yeah, this
so
year
you're
should
gonna
be
have, you have
exciting,
fun,
yeah.
and it feels. I always thought when I was down there,
We need a
that-
Connor Shaw. Former Brown.
Steve Tannehill. I always felt like that South Carolina was an incredible sleeping giant because Clemson is the big in the state. They were the big football power in the state. But South Carolina had Columbia. South Carolina had a state that over the last 25 years has had an incredible influx of Division I talent come out of it. They are in closer proximity to a lot of talent around them in Georgia and Florida and the Carolinas, obviously, even over to Alabama if you can pry kids out of there. But the state of South Carolina produces a lot of talent. And then the other thing is you now have really 3 decades plus of northern folks who are vacationing in those South Carolina areas, whether it's Charleston or Myrtle or Kiowa or whatever. And so people go down to the Hilton Head, all those areas. People go down there and they vacation. And so the world became smaller. And I remember like 20 years ago looking at South Carolina, we always used this thing like sleeping giant in college football. I'm like, why isn't South Carolina Georgia? Or at least 90% of Georgia.
Yeah,
If
right.
you can't be Georgia, like, okay, fine.
Sure.
But why can't South Carolina be Ole Miss? Why can't they be those type of teams? And they were just really never had the history for it. Ronnie Sunshine Bass played there he was the quarterback there. But really, Lou Holtz went there and stabilized it, and then Spurrier elevated it to the point where when he got there, they recruited Jadeveon Clowney, and they recruited those type of players. And he was the first one that was able to land, like, keep the 5-star kids at South Carolina from South Carolina at South Carolina. Those kids went to Clemson or Georgia, and now he got them to stay.
It would be fun. It would be fun, yeah.
I got a defensive end this year who's going to be a top 10 pick in next year's draft, too. That's a stud.
So they got 2 guys potentially who are first rounders.
Yeah, among others.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've stepped it up. So
Did Legit go there? Xavier Leggett?
I think he did.
It
Yes,
popped
from
into
the
my head.
D-man.
He did.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
he did. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. No, they've got it's fun history. The stadium experience is awesome. Actually, Tim May, longtime Columbus Dispatch beat writer for the Buckeyes.
Absolutely.
Him and his buddy, he's kind of semi-retired, and his buddy went to a South Carolina game last year and said it was just awesome. It was a night game. Said it was just awesome.
So I was just talking to Maddie, who's in the travel department here, who's a South Carolina alum. She saw me wearing the shirt. She got all excited. And that's what she said. She's like, try to get to a night game.
Yeah.
She said, that's the best. But she said, come, for a women's basketball game in the spring is awesome. You better believe I will.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. Good
good.
job, Artie.
Wonder
Go,
what
Artie,
Will
go.
Scarlett thinks of this.
Oh, has he seen you?
No, I just go peacock around his area.
In this case, quite literally.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Look at
It
it.
took my
Could have
mom a
a little
long time
fun.
she thought that this was the head and that was the eye and that it was a dragon. She didn't get that over here with the beak and the eye, that's really the face of the
So
gamecock.
before the advent of Google and Google image searches and an ability to look at something closely, I always, when I was a kid, it's so funny, I had a hard time making out where the chicken was in it. Because you would just see it. You rarely saw South Carolina. They weren't at power.
Yep.
So you rarely saw it. So you would see it like on a screen for a second, like on a scoreboard bug.
Yeah.
And I would always race up when I was a kid. I'm like, now where? So I'm with her. It
To
is-
be fair, from far away.
From
as
far
I see it
away-
right here, let's move this.
like if you
This
didn't
looks-
know.
that should. There we go. That looks like the head, and it feels
It does.
proportionate that would be the head on this body, but it's really a hunchback and then a little.
It's the
neck and a
feathers.
head. It's the feathers.
It's the feathers flying in the air
Flying
as
in
it's
the air
ready
'cause
to
they're
attack.
fired up.
What's
Yeah.
cool on it? Your live mascot is Sir Big Spur, and so that you see that nail coming off of his
Right here.
Yeah, that's his spurs.
Oh, I know about that from
That's where
turkey camp. I learned
That's where
about
he takes
spurs.
care of you. Yeah, be careful with those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody asked me this morning on my morning activities if 1,000 chickens could kill one elephant, and I said 1,000 chickens couldn't, but I think 1,000 roosters could.
Yeah.
Because if they can puncture skin anyway,
Yeah.
that's the way that would go. So that's exciting. Very good. What else? What is this?
We don't know. So right now, and I don't know, when you hear what's in the box, what does that give you flashbacks to?
7.
Yes. So I'm very nervous.
Too small for Amy's head.
Says what's in the box.
Oh, you got that going for you.
Could be reek.
I'm like, well, I'm not opening this. I'm going to let them open it. We'll put them in a containment
Is that a good
room.
idea though?
Sure. Why not?
All right.
If things go
Oh
south,
my gosh, this is pretty cool. So it's from Leverkusen, Germany.
How about it?
How about it? Attention, Bo and Nathan, Cleveland Browns Daily. There's
All right.
the name of the person who sent it. A Calvin,
Thank you, Calvin.
maybe.
For now.
do you
We
need some
reserve the right
scissors?
to rescind the thank you.
No, I think I can get into it.
All right.
All right.
By the way, corporate partners, very excited for our unwrapping of cards and now trying to get us a few sponsorship.
I like
things.
that.
Well,
Good idea.
I can tell people who would be excited about that.
Okay, what do we
Oh,
have
this is
here?
cool.
Well, there's
All right,
no
so
white
here you
powder,
go.
so we're good there.
He is a founder, huge fan of the show. It honestly helps a ton being away from, and I'm reading this live, so
Perfect.
Bear with him.
Great.
huge fan of the show. Honestly helps a fan a ton being away from most of the year. Let's go back to the 2-shot, Dr. J.
Yep.
This is really just a small thank you for what you guys do on the podcast. As an athlete, I created Spray and Play as a quick, no-rinse solution you can use during a game. It's flavored, so it doesn't just clean. It makes mouth guards taste better and smell better, too, with flavors like blue raspberry, lemon lime, fruit punch. Something for everyone. Bo, with your boys playing different sports all week, we figured you'd see some legendary gear bag situation. This helps, and I have, and that does. Nathan, for the flag football comeback, channeling your inner Jeff George. We assume the arm is ready, but the mouth guard might not be. We've got you. Appreciate it. Keep it rolling.
Let's go.
Welcome to the team. Spray and Play. How to use it. Spray mouth guard 2 to 3 times before use. Reapply as necessary. Spray after use and insert into case.
Awesome.
Let's see what this is all. Oh, you got 3 of them.
Yeah, you got the flavor pack.
Flavor pack.
You got a little lemon lime there.
So you got a little lemon lime, maybe a fruit
On the
punch,
outside,
and
yeah.
what was the other?
You say like a blue raspberry, maybe?
Little blue raz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
This is awesome. How
There you
about
go.
it?
There you go. Nice. Thanks,
Beautiful.
buddy.
Yes, thank you. Instantly clean your mouth guard with a burst of flavor
From Germany.
from Germany.
From the Germans.
We got to ask
That's
Hoff.
very
Maybe
nice.
does Hoff know about this
don't
product?
know.
Because he's got friends that play over there. He coached a bunch of kids.
Well, we'll get to ask him
You will get to ask in 8 minutes.
shortly.
I'll be danged. Well, we'll give it a shot. Thanks, man. That was cool.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's a great way to start the
Nice.
program.
It's very nice.
Very nice.
Hoff's coming on.
Yeah.
He is.
I'm going to go around the league. What else we got? On some mock drafts? Oh, I wanted to get into this real quick. Can you imagine? We're going to do the Matt Miller mock draft.
Yes.
Can you imagine? So what he did, folks, he did a 7-round mock draft.
He's kind of one of the originators.
He's been doing it for
of the-
years.
The
I know.
7th round. Yeah.
At
Just
what
for
point?
the audience, though, like, how is there? At what round are you like? Oh, the hell.
Okay,
with it?
whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
How could you?
Yeah. How could you?
How could you?
How could you?
Like, you're probably locked in through 3 rounds, even the biggest draftniks. And doesn't Dane does this too, right? He does a 7-rounder.
Once the beast comes out, he does a 7.
Then
round.
he does a 7.
But
When
like he's done the prep. Like not
Yeah.
that Matt's done plenty of prep work. So
well, true. And I think, Matt, Dane, there's a bunch of those guys. Like, these guys just grinded and got to a point where people noticed and it took off. And now he's at ESPN doing this, which is so cool, man. But the task of tackling a 7-round mock, even like if you just said a full mock just for our team,
Yeah. It just
it's
seems
just at the end you're like, oh, just put anybody there. Like, who
Yeah,
knows?
you're
Like,
right.
how possibly can you be taking this that
it
seriously?
was a challenge for me just to sit down for a half hour and fill out my annual review, much less like a 7-round.
And that was
mock
about
draft.
you.
Yeah, that's right.
That's about you.
Yeah.
You didn't just
Like
write,
the
I'm
7
great.
round mock, I'm like, I'd be done after round. I'd
Do you-
be 35 picks in and be like, yeah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Do you put as one of your goals to thwart Nathan Zagura's pursuit of joy? Is that a stated goal on your
No,
review?
but you know what? I should add that. I'm going to have HR open that back up.
No, once it's signed and it's both signed, it's done.
I haven't signed it yet.
Oh, well.
There you go.
I think your side's done. I don't think you get to change anything on your side.
Actually, I can.
You can.
Can you?
come back and do it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I see somebody come up the stairs, it's just a disbelief of what they walked through.
Yeah.
It's so
it's
interesting.
so awful.
It's awful. And like, Monday night, I was so excited. Like, lacrosse had started for the boys. They all had practice at night. NBC was under the lights. It was fun. Coach Patio and the boys getting things done. And then last night, everything's canceled. Like, honestly,
Oh,
like
yeah.
if you're going to be in Ohio and if you have the means as a district in your area, the bare minimum had better be a lot of artificial turf everywhere as far as you can see, or you're just not going to practice. You're not going to play. And then ideally, you really need like a field house. I've been to a lot of these places recently. A lot of these towns have field houses because otherwise there's no chance. You ain't practicing that. Not in grass.
no.
If
No.
you have turf, you can go, and now your kid might get hypothermia.
No.
But you can go out in 38 degrees in the rain and go if it's. But you couldn't get kids sick. But if you don't have a field house, no chance. No chance. No practice.
What high school has the best field? I don't know many high schools that have field houses. You would know that more than me based on your travels. Is there one that like stands out?
There's a bunch that are doing them or have done them. I was just out Austintown Fitchway out by Youngstown. They were just doing one that they were just putting the finishing touches on. I was down in Greene in February, and they just did one that's really nice. Massillon's had one for a long time, naturally. There's some others. Like, you don't have to – I also think, like, it doesn't have to be 100 yards or a soccer field size. You just need, 60, 75 yards of turf, an ability to put nets up so that you can do baseball, softball, lacrosse, whatever sport you want to play, football. It really isn't a football problem, though. Football, in the fall, we're good.
We're good. We're quite good.
Now it's spring sports. Like, if you don't have turf and you're I was out at 2 weeks ago. I was out at Cloverleaf for AAU for Beamsy, and they had their entire looked like they were doing all of this, but one of the things they had was an entire infield, outfield, everything turf baseball field, and I like no dirt. And I thought, smart.
Looks like the old Kingdom.
Yeah, like how else?
Yeah.
How else are you going to?
The reality is you can't have spring sports here unless they're indoor sports.
You really no.
Winter, you really have to get every outdoor sport crammed into the fall.
Yeah, and I don't know. You grew up here. Do you remember it like this all spring when you grew up here?
It's all moved. It's moved a couple months.
I think it was hit or
Even
miss.
my time here.
This
20
has
years.
been 3 months of suck.
Yeah.
It used to be, though, like I think what we get in October now is 20 years ago what we got in September. I think everything is moved back a month, which is great for the fall, not great for us, but terrible for the spring, also not great for us.
So your contention is this used to be March.
Yes.
I might be able to get behind that.
Like early March, beginning of March.
Beginning of March. Like
Yeah.
this 38, 40, rainy.
Rain,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Just-
Because now April, I mean, today's April, right?
Although they do
Today's
say
April.
April showers bring May flowers. Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah. Don't need it.
Don't need it. Don't want it. Not interested. Not interested at all. Yeah. So the rain is nuts. All right. Hoff?
Hoff.
Those are your hot topics today, presented by University Hospital, official healthcare partner of your Cleveland Browns. He is the Hoff, and he joins next. We're off and running. Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Oh, baby. It's been too long. The great Hoff joins on the Twisted Tea hotline. Mr. Hoff, it is great to catch up with you, sir.
Yes.
So it's so interesting. We were, long story short, and Hoff probably doesn't know any of these things, nor would I expect you to. We were supposed to go to Hawaii for spring break. It got canceled at the last minute. We pivoted in like an hour with 2 days in advance and booked another spring break.
Great job by you, by
We
the
did.
way.
We did the best we could.
No, I'm gonna say you did a great job.
We did a good job. So we got to the Florida coast and had some warm days, and it was good. But while we were down there, my wife was like, "You know a place I'd like to go?" And I said, "No, I don't." And she goes, "What about Costa Rica?"
Yep.
And I said, "Funny you ask. Guess who was just in Costa Rica? The Hofstradamus."
And guess who loved it?
How was it, Hoff?
Well, your wife's
baby.
not wrong. Her beauty is only surpassed by her genius because Costa Rica was fantastic. I mean, for a family now that my youngest is 7, my oldest is 13, and they're all kind of like me. They can't really sit around on the beach and do nothing for a while. It is amazing because you've got surfing, fishing, hiking. They got amazing volcanoes and waterfalls, and the swimming is incredible. You got beaches in the Atlantic and the Pacific. It's really a paradise for somebody that likes to be outside, be active, likes to fill that belly a little bit. So maybe that's where you got to go next year for spring break.
Well, there's a lot of momentum, Hoff. There's a lot of momentum. Once I told her that you were just there, all we needed, I think, was your green light stamp of approval, and my hunch is it will be booked. I think there's a pretty good chance that's where we end up. I did some of my own research, but now that I get the Hoff stamp, I mean, what don't you know? You know, wines, meats, coffee,
Surfing.
fishing,
Turkeys.
turkey hunting.
Oh, baby.
No limit to your genius, sir.
No bounds.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Hoping
Weightlifting?
to add a feather to my cap to get Dr. Z a big gobbler in about a month. We were just chatting about it last night.
We were. That's
You're
right.
going to get a bird.
I am getting my license, getting the whole deal. We're going, getting a tag. I think that's what it's called in the business.
Have you ever killed an animal?
Loose definition, yes.
Hit with your car? Maybe. But have you
yeah,
have you ever put a being out of its life form on purpose?
Yeah, insects and whatnot.
Okay.
It's alive, and then it wasn't. I've squashed it.
I'm interested to see, Hoff, how that goes for young Mr. Z.
I just want it field dressed by Z. If you shoot it, you have to field dress it.
We'll bring. They didn't. Correct
you
me if I'm
field
wrong,
dress-
Huff, but they
dress
weren't
off?
field dressed. They were brought into the fridge, and then they were dressed at the end of the weekend. Is that right?
That's right. A little
Yeah,
different than a deer, right? You don't really have to field dress a turkey because you can cut it up without having to do the dressing like you would with a deer, which can be a bit more traumatic for a first-time hunter.
Yes. I don't think I don't think I could do it. I think that'd be very difficult for me. I went on this last year being like, there's no way I could do it. And then after I was out there, I was like,
I could definitely kill
oh,
these
I
suckers.
definitely can do this. Yes. There was one moment where,
The Primal Z came out.
yeah, I didn't even have like my tag last year, so I couldn't, I was more kind of along for the ride and scouting and whatnot. But I did have one moment where I sprinted. It was very much like the opening scene of Last of the Mohicans, and I sprinted through, but I didn't have anything. I was more scouting.
Yeah, dude, it's advanced scouting.
And I came around this corner, and I thought I had tracked a few of them, and I pop around this corner, and had I had something, I would at least have gotten a shot. I'm not saying I would have hit anything, but I would have at least gotten a shot off. I came around, there were 6 of them just standing there, like literally in this field,
Standing
just
at you, staring.
as close as this wall.
Yeah. Shotguns?
Yeah. So I feel like I would have had a chance to get something.
All right.
But I'm into it. I'm listening
Little bit,
already.
that bird.
I didn't tell you this yesterday, Hoff, but I have a few turkey hunting podcasts I've been listening to.
Oh,
in my
baby.
in my preparation.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
He's all in.
Oh, yeah, very. I'm in. Yeah, it's going to be glorious. By the way, speaking of all in, as you guys know, I find the Hoff beef and his American Wagyu to be the finest steaks on this planet.
Yep.
They are now available locally at certainly some high-end restaurants, but also I was just walking through Giant Eagle
Come on.
the other day, just walking through, and I see a steak, and I'm like,
Hold on.
I haven't seen a steak that looks like this before here, and I walk closer. Sure enough, Hoff beef, Wagyu ribeye.
cow.
So I said, I need to cut out though. I need to cut out of the Hoff, like holding like some beef,
Yeah.
so people can be drawn to it appropriately. But I was like, I took a picture and texted him right away. I'm like, what are you talking about? What's going on here? So there it is.
Hoff, are you the King Ranch of Wisconsin?
He's going to be the King
We're
Ranch of the
getting
world.
there,
That's what he
man.
wants.
It's pretty exciting. Yeah, Z sent me a picture the other day, and I was like, "Yeah, I forgot to tell you, we're in a few Giant Eagle market districts. You know, we're taking over this Meat King thing. It's not just something that is lip service, right? We're really executing here, and it's pretty exciting being able to get in some of the high end places throughout Ohio. And we just had a meeting this morning with our graphics people working on your big cardboard cutout like Z wants right there.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
yeah. I told him, I said, do you remember when The Rock launched Terramana?
Yeah.
There was always a life-size cutout of The Rock holding
Yeah.
bottles of Terramana. You're like, wait a second, The Rock's got a tequila?
Sure.
And I think it's the same thing. You're like, okay, I'm going to go buy that. And then now it's the same thing. You see, wait a second, the Hoff's got some Hoff beef. And then you see the marbling, and you're just like, wait a second, I wanted to dive in there and just start eating them myself, raw. It's that primal instinct in me.
I want to see one of the
Hunter-gatherer.
Hoff. Oh, yeah. Hoff, you have to mimic this exact pose
That's what I want.
from The Rock.
Yes.
That's what you got to
that's it.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have like a box of meat under
Yep,
one arm.
yep,
You're in
yep.
one of your signature poncho shirts with Hoff beef on it.
Yep.
And then you're holding out a steak with your right hand.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then it's life size. That's what we have to do.
Yes.
And then people can take pictures next to
Done.
Hoff with Hoff beef.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, this is easy.
This is easy. This is it. It's on the internet. It's easily accessible.
It's
We'll just-
easily.
And we already know that he looks at you, he being The Rock, with great admiration in the Hoffs. In your office, don't you have your signed picture from The Rock? Is that like right there in your podcast
I
studio?
do, and I do, yeah. And he wrote a nice little note on there that said basically, "You're the only human on earth that I look at the same way I look at my wife," because I found a picture of him. He's kind of like staring lovingly up into my eyes, and he's a big man, but it doesn't compare to like real sized football players. So he's a little smaller than me, and I'm kind of looking down on him. And I'm glad I picked that pose because it made for a nice little comment that he could write on there. And it's in the podcast studio behind me.
I love that a guy who's 6'5", 275, and one of the most muscular people in the world, the Hoff's like, yeah, he's really not that big compared to us real football players. I love it. Let's go. That smells. That smells like WrestleMania. Sounds like something. That sounds like The Rock, Joe Thomas, WrestleMania.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
Well, we
or
could
at
do
least
that. We could do
AIW
that.
Absolution. That's the only thing that's going to get me back in the
I'm
ring. By
ready.
the way, if the Hoff does it, Hoff, I have.
Oh,
I should have mentioned this yesterday on the phone, but I'll talk to you about it offline. But I have multiple people who are legit names who only want to come and wrestle with me and you. So we have to do this.
I love it. And I'm not a wrestling guy like Z is, but as much as I love this man, I would get into the ring with him and do it just so we could fulfill Z's fantasy of
Yes.
wrestling in front of a massive crowd and body slamming and tag team, the whole deal.
Yes, the tag team. Let's go.
If I were writing this,
Okay.
I think the thing that would have the biggest would be if Hoff heel turned on you.
On me? But then
Yeah.
he's got to go on.
That's fine, and then go on.
He's got to go on and wrestle
have
for
to.
like months. That's a program. And then we're going to have a blow-off, a blood feud, me and the Hoff, and we'll call it like
this is what we're
a
trying to do
cattle
here.
ra-
Then
a
all of a
bull
sudden
rope
it's
match. It'll
you,
be a bull rope match, Hoff.
you against the Hoff, and then in the end, it's like when Shawn Michaels kicked out Flair, and he's got tears in his eyes. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I love you.
I love you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it has to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. I'll be looking at the lights at the end of that one, I have a feeling.
Hoff, how was the rest of your winter? We haven't talked to you in forever. So you went to Costa Rica. How the kids doing? My guess is you got some lacrosse that's happening probably for young Jack. Is that we're in that time? I know my guys are all locked into it. How's your off season been?
Yeah, it's been great. With the kids, we try to make sure we encourage multiple sports and try to keep them to just, one sport per season, because that's kind of how we did it. And honestly, if you look at science, they say, hey, keep them in one sport per season, keep them in multiple sports. That's how you develop the best athlete. So we usually stick to that. But the spring, we got track, which the kids love track. I coach them in track. But then also it's kind of lacrosse season. So it's like, well, track is only a couple days, so we'll do lacrosse too. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, they're getting pretty good at basketball, and they got these AAU teams that they want to be part of, and their friends are on. So now we're in track, lacrosse, and AAU basketball right now, and then my
Love
other
it.
daughter does soccer. So it's become a full schedule real quickly for us.
I need a
Hoff,
Reese
you have
update.
you have the best intentions, don't you? As a parent, we're going to have them in one sport a
we do.
season, and what you just described is my life because we got to do AAU. Well, they're good, and their friends played. You have to do AAU. Dad, I want to play AAU. Okay, fine. We'll play AAU. Well, yeah, but it's look. You have the best intentions. You'll be there. Best
No doubt.
intentions.
No
I just
doubt.
want him to be just. Let's go golf, buddy.
Well,
Let's go golf, young.
That'll be an
Luka.
easier sell as he gets older.
Yeah. Hoff, how's my girl Reese?
She's doing amazing. I mean, you saw her probably 6 months ago or so last time.
Yeah.
And she's blossomed even further, if you can possibly imagine.
She's incredible.
She's everybody's favorite, but she's also the one that's hardest. Last night, my in-laws, and then her down the street. So Annie texted her friend's parents and said, "Hey, can you please send Reese home?" Okay, no problem. She goes out the door. Well, instead of coming home, she of course goes to Nana and Papa's house because that's where the cookies are. And so she goes over there. Instead of coming home, it's dinner time. She goes over there. She sits on the couch, lets herself in, starts eating their cookies. She's drinking their milk. They come home. "Oh, hey, Reese, what are you doing? Are you supposed to be home?" "Nope. No, Mom already said that I can be over here." So she's over there till like 7 o'clock at night. So it's been an hour since she's supposed to leave her friend's house. And we're like, what the heck is going on? We call the friend's parents. Reese left an hour ago. I don't know where she could be. We told her to go right home. And so finally I had to go traipse over to the in-laws house and found her and dragged her home. And come to find that she's telling people some different stories about where she's going and where she's supposed to be so she can go over to Nan and Papa's and eat their fresh cookies and drink their milk.
When she's 16, 14, you're gonna have. Oh boy,
Lord, she's 7.
you're gonna have a lot of problems
Seven,
on your
first
hand.
grade.
Oh baby.
Youngest though, right?
Yeah, youngest.
Yeah, that's
and quite
that'll happen.
fierce.
Youngest.
Quite fierce.
Yeah.
Most athletic.
Strong.
That's her problem. She's strong, charming, incredible athlete. She's beautiful and also knows how to get what she wants.
Yeah.
It makes
She's
for an
formidable.
interesting combination that's only getting more interesting.
I assess very quickly that I want to be friend to Reese rather than foe to
Than
Reese.
foe, yeah.
And I think we have a mutual admiration society, Reese and I.
Hoff,
Yes, she respects Z. She loves him as a friend.
Yes.
And she's willing to lay down swords for the time being because she sees him as a possible asset to her global domination. In the
Perfect.
future.
It's great. Want to have value
a
as long as I
sage
can. Yeah.
advisor.
Let me have value. I thought she was going to end me on the training camp field. Was that last summer or Tuesday? I think it was last summer. She was just coming at me relentlessly,
Yeah.
like a ball, butcher knives,
yeah.
elbows, and feet. And I'm just like, I give up. Reese, let's be friends.
Hoff, how do you? We just got done a little bit of football. We just got done with the owner meetings. We've had the combine. We've had a lot of the pro days that have either happened or are about to happen. We're less than a month from the draft. As you've kind of gathered and taken all this in from afar, and you put yourself in the position of Andrew Berry of ownership and 2 first-round picks, and kind of the way everyone views this draft. As we sit here a little less than a month out, how would you, from our perspective, attack this draft in terms of the importance of need and talent and want and all of those things?
Well, I think you always have to have your values, right? What are the standards? What are the things that we're looking for as far as not necessarily only positionally, but are we looking to build value and are we looking to build some depth? Are we looking to reach a little bit to pick a position of need? And I think you try to address a lot of that in free agency, and I think they did a good job rebuilding that offensive line, which was a lot of the conversation that we had last year about, hey, this O-line, they might be totally new next year. So I think they did a great job. Obviously, George Warhop and I have a long history. I think he's one of the best offensive line coaches ever in the NFL, and we were able to bring him in, and I know he believes in big, tough, hardworking offensive linemen that are blue collar. They bring their lunch pail. That's how he coaches them. That's what he wants. And that's what they got when they overhauled that offensive line, bringing in the guys that they did this year. And so I still think this draft, it's going to look a little bit like we talked about last year. We got to get weapons, right? We need receiver. That's probably, if I look at it, our biggest need that we can address in this draft. And then I'd like to get a tackle, right? We still need a tackle for sure. And you can always use more offensive linemen, more great tackles. You usually got to get those guys in the first round. So to me, I think you kind of start at receiver and tackle. Obviously, when there's value opportunity, you take advantage of it. But by and large, I think the quarterback situation is probably going to be something that they're going to try to address next year. Just by the looks of it, just by the evaluation of the draft class this year, And I think that there's not that quarterback that they would want to give up a king's ransom to move up to be able to go get at number 1 or number 2.
I agree with you. Talking with the great Hoff, Joe Thomas. All right, Hoff, let's talk about left tackles. And I don't know if have you watched any of these guys yet?
I haven't. So I didn't go to the combine this year other than to do the competition committee meeting. So I didn't really dive into the individual players, but I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
So I was just going to ask you then a different question, because you're my authority on these things. What we've heard a lot about is that there are guys, say a Monroe Freeling, say a Caden Proctor, who are actually true left tackles, but there are projects that are guys that are going to need time and development and all of that. And obviously, I think if you're picking at 6, you need an immediate impact player for your team. The guys that are considered to be maybe the best, Maui Noa, Lomu, Fanu, a lot of people are saying, yeah, they played tackle in college, but they're really guards. And I can think of a great tackle who played at the University of Nevada, who was a left tackle in college, actually played pretty well there when he had to in the NFL, but was a guard. And, of course, I'm talking about Joel Bitonio. When you hear that, or translate to us, what does that mean? Why would somebody who was a very successful tackle or left tackle in college, like in the case of Fano, or and then I think Maui Noa is a right tackle in college, but why are people saying maybe they're actually not tackles at this level?
So guards and centers get to play in a phone booth because they've got an offensive lineman on both sides of them. So they only have to cover, let's say a yard on either side of them when you're talking pass protection. But when you're a tackle, I've got a guard on the inside, but to the outside is nobody. So there's an unlimited amount of space for that pass rusher, that Myles Garrett, to turn and dip and rip up the field to get around you. So you've got to be able to have an athlete out there at the NFL level that can cover a lot of space quickly, but also has the ability to anchor down if somebody's going to bull rush him, right? So a lot of times when a guy's successful in college at tackle, but they think he's maybe better suited as a guard, it's because they don't think that he can just cover that amount of space. He's not the athlete to be able to handle that much distance that he's got to his outside. And some of that sometimes comes into length too. Like if you're not a fantastic athlete, but you look like Jonathan Ogden or Flozell Adams, 6'8", 6'9", 360, those big long arms and long legs can cover a bit more ground and you can get done what you need to get done. But if you're kind of that 6'3", 6'4", and you're also not a fantastic athlete, typically they're going to say you're probably better suited to get moved inside where you don't have to cover much more than a phone booth.
Hoff, when you're picking everything that you just laid out there, when you're picking at 6 and you're talking about a tackle at 6, can you risk that? Can you risk – there are no sure things, right? I mean, I understand that. But, at 6, you better be right? In simplest terms?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. If you're looking at tackle at 6, and that's a big position of need, and this is the trade-offs that you have to go through, all the machinations and iterations that you're going through getting ready for the draft. It's, okay, we've got our top tackle on the board, but we're just not sure if he can be a bona fide starter at tackle for us. And we have some other players that have great value. Maybe it's not a position that we absolutely have a huge hole in, but we have a higher degree of certainty that they're going to be great starters, maybe Pro Bowlers, maybe even better. And then you kind of making that trade-off in your head, all right, what are the chances that this tackle actually pans out? All right, maybe if it's 40, 50%, you start working the probability statistics, the class everybody took in college that they hated about. What's the expected value? How certain are we that this guy can be a legit starter for us? And is he worth that 6th pick? Or do we feel better that we have a greater degree of confidence that this player is going to be a contributor on a team that has a lot of needs, that's trying to rebuild? Let's take a guy that we have a lot more confidence in, that has positional value that would maybe be similar, and that would be worth that 6th-round pick. I remember the conversation when we drafted Alex Mack in 2009. Everyone was talking about, center, he's drafted so high and everything, but they, one, knew he was going to be great, and two, in our system, you needed to have a big, strong center. Eric Mangini was the coach at the time. We had Haloti Ngata and Casey Hampton and these big nose guards in the AFC North, so you needed a big physical center in the middle who could hold up to those guys. You couldn't have the Jeff Saturday 275 guy who's more of a brain, cerebral, point this way technician using his feet, because you had to get that big body in the middle. And so I think you got to go through all those trade-offs, and it's really going to come down to that at 6. Like, if this guy's a project, like George Warhop has got his work cut out for him. He's got to be doing that film study and give him a really good analysis of, hey, do I think I can turn this guy into a starter? How soon is that going to be? How quickly does he learn, going back and watching that film from, the last year and the year before that, and just see what was his progress. Has he kind of reached a plateau in his learning of the technique and of playing the position? Or is he just getting started? Like, he's only played that position for a year or two, and he really has a growth curve that's accelerating quickly. And George feels like, hey, I'm going to work this dude into the dirt like he did with me and all the other guys, and he'll be ready by the time the season rolls around in week 1. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it's always a busy time of the year for coaches, but especially when they're leading up to the draft.
Yeah, and it does feel like this is a very important draft. We have 3 of the top 39 picks. Like, without saying, at which spot in your mind, how would you like to see those 3 picks play out? You don't say like players per se, but would you like to see it be a wide receiver and an interior offensive lineman and a tackle, or 2 tackles, or maybe a slot corner, because that kind of feels like the one thing that we need, or maybe it's a linebacker for the future. But how do you kind of see that? What do you want to see kind of in those first 3 very valuable picks, and how nice it is once again to have 2 first-round picks?
Yeah, I mean, receiver, and then whatever else. The way I look at it, we need weapons. You've got to have dudes that get the crowd excited, that can score points, that can open up the field. You can always use more receivers. You can always use more slot corners too, though, because when you're in your nickel and your dime, like, having good coverage guys, you find a way to get them on the field. As a tackle, you only get 2 tackles on the field, but you can move a guy inside, but then you lose value a little bit there. So, I mean, in my mind, you've got to have a tackle in those first 3, and you got to have a receiver. And if push came to shove, I'd say, hey, if all things are equal, let's get another receiver, because you got to have that number 1 dynamic guy. But if
so, you're going receiver at 6.
Love the receiver,
I love it.
I would.
I just want everybody to understand that we're talking to the greatest
him.
left tackle to ever play the game.
Yep.
And he said, let's get a receiver. Let's get a weapon right here. Let's get a weapon. You played on, arguably, there was a period of time where we had the best, I think, left to right offensive line in the NFL. But we didn't ever have the commiserate weapons to be able to capitalize on the greatness of, Thomas, Bitonio, Mack, Greco, Schwartz.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's as good as it gets. Yeah.
Come on. Hey.
Yeah, Hey,
come on.
Yeah, I've used this anecdote a few times explaining to some people that didn't really understand what a left tackle's job is, our mentality, right? We're bodyguards, right? So if you've got a rock star that you're protecting, that's great. You're really, really important. But if you're protecting the cover band for the local county fair, like, you know what? The left tackle is not that important, because it doesn't matter if the guy behind you is not any good. So, like, of course, we know quarterback's the most important spot. Can you get a quarterback? That's always your number 1 thing. But, outside of the conversation we had earlier, where we just felt like at 6, probably outside of where we'd want to be to get a quarterback that we love. And so at that point, it's like, if you've got receivers and guys that can catch the ball and be game changers, teams can't blitz. They can't get home because they got that guy that's always getting open. And as long as the quarterback's getting them the football or getting it close, it doesn't matter what the pass rush does. Pass rush only matters when the quarterback hangs onto the football because nobody's open and can't get rid of the ball.
Hoff,
this is
obviously
beautiful.
Someone of your talent. I'm not talking about you or the Gold Jackets, Munoz and Pace and Jones and those guys. I'm saying for the audience to understand, and we've got a bunch of new guys here, Titus Howard, Elton Jenkins, Zion Johnson, all these guys are going to get plugged in. How much can elite coaching on the offensive line make up for elite talent on the offensive line?
Well, that's why when you look at coaching salaries, you got your head coach, your coordinators, and the next most highly paid guy is always the offensive line coach. It's because it's one of the harder positions to find because you have to know so much, and it's such a specific, nuanced knowledge of a position, and you can't really interchange them. You're not going to take your tight ends coach and make him an O-line coach unless the guy maybe had O-line background. You're not going to take your running backs coach, your receivers coach, and make him an O-line coach. As a matter of fact, I only had one offensive coordinator that knew anything about offensive line play, and that was Kyle Shanahan. But because what you do on the offensive line is so much about your brain and the technique and how you can quickly process what's happening in front of you and turn that into footwork and hand placement, and the preparation that goes into that, and the process of doing the drill work and building the foundation and then going over it over and over and over again and being insistent and sometimes being a little bit of a prick. Like, that is such an important position, because you could have Bill Callahan or George Warhop coaching a group of average guys that play well exceptionally. And then you could have a group of 5 really good offensive linemen that doesn't have a great offensive line coach that don't do a very good job. It's that important of a position, and it's also the position that you can develop the most. The practice and the way that you develop your non-God-given skills gives you the most ability to improve performance and talent on the offensive line more than any other position. And where you get that from is your offensive line coach, what he's teaching you, what the film study is like. All those things go into it, and that's why they always talked about Bill Callahan being such a great offensive line coach. And look, when he was here, we had guys that were being injured and backups that you'd never heard of going in the game playing good because they were prepared. They'd spent 2 or 3 years in the system. They'd been doing the drills. They understood what the expectations were. They were able to perform on that high level. That's what a great offensive line coach can give you, and that's why it's worth paying them.
I mean, we've saw it. It's why guys like, you know, you look back and you think about when the playoff win over Pittsburgh. Joel Bitonio also missed that game.
Yes, he did.
You know, and Michael Dunn gets ready to play and turns in a great performance. Then he gets her Blake Hance, who had just gotten here, who had driven here from New York. Goes in and is able to get up to speed because you had that level of coaching. That's what we have to hope that you've got. You know, George Warhop can help get the best out of those guys. We've got a guy, you know, who never got an opportunity, at least, and I think I'm saying this, I feel like I'm saying it correctly. I might not be, but I think I am, that didn't get a chance to be with Callahan at all, which was Zach Zinter, right?
Oh, yeah, no.
Right, because 2 years ago was
2 years,
Dickerson, last year was Bloomgren. So, you know, maybe George Warhop can unlock what we saw in a guy like Zach Zinter, why he was taken in the 3rd round, why he was thought of so highly on that Michigan national championship team, because that's so far as we have not gotten a return on that investment. And so I think that's where you're hoping it can make the difference. And we brought in, you know, we have guys that have been very successful. We have a lot of now high-round draft picks on this offensive line. And, you know, Titus Howard said George Warhop gets the best out of young offensive linemen. And I think that is, you know, he said, I played my best ball and learned the most in my 1 year with Warhop. So hopefully that is the case, because that would be great. And then all of a sudden, you know, we do go get weapons, as Hoff would suggest, as we certainly have been suggesting ad nauseum. And then we've got something. Because if we can be a solid offense, I'm not talking the best offense in the league, if we can be a 16th ranked offense in the National Football League, with our defense, we have a chance to compete for the division title. I mean, it's just that simple. And there it is.
Yeah, and it's...
Yeah, here's what I'll add.
Go ahead, Hoff.
Here's what I'll add real quick to what Z said is I got a few things I know in this world. One is offensive line play. 2 is raising some of the world's greatest Wagyu beef.
Yes.
3 is that George Warhop's going to get the most out of every single one of those guys. I've got 100% confidence that whatever their skill level, whatever their ceiling is, he's going to get them there. Now, maybe they don't have the talent to be able to get there, but if it's there, he will get it out of them. He's going to squeeze that rag until it's completely dry, and you can wipe the sweat off of Z's sweating forehead down in some beautiful golf course in Arizona.
Oh, baby.
Because George is a great friend of mine. He's, like I said, one of the greatest O-line coaches I've ever been around. There's not going to be a lot of shenanigans in that room. There's not going to be a lot of giggling and laughing and smiles, because he is all business. We called him General George. He runs it like it's the military. You're going to go out and be working 30, 40 minutes before practice starts. You're going to be drilling every single day. They will be prepared. He will get the most out of them. And if there is something there that he's going to get it out of them, they're going to play good football.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, and I think it's important for the audience to hear one of the greatest to ever do it, illustrate it, and lay it out that way, because we can say it till we're blue in the face, but we don't have gold jackets. He's got gold robes, jackets, everything in between.
He's got it all.
He's got it all. Hoff.
That robe.
Hoff, how would you – last one on the draft side of it, and then I know you're short on time. How would you this notion of best versus positional need. I think this is going to be a big topic in this draft because if you talk to some people, they might say that, for example, maybe Sonny Styles or Caleb Downs is the surest thing. Let's just say those are two guys our audience knows because they both were Buckeyes, and it might be true that they are. Those are not positions. Now, Downs, maybe you could talk yourself into with us a little bit. We certainly don't need another linebacker in the case of Sonny Styles. But if you were building a team and you knew that we need weapons, but there's also a chance that, boy, I know this guy's going to be a dude, how would you balance that and make that decision?
Well, it's a bit of a challenge, but I think looking specifically at like maybe the tackle position, you're going to say, okay, is the kid a football player? Maybe he can't play tackle in the end, we find out. But if he's a football player, we can find a place for him. We can make him a starter. He can still contribute. If you take a position, maybe let's say tight end, right? If he doesn't make it as a tight end, where do you put him? Linebacker? Tackle? Like, I don't know. Like you have a problem if you draft a guy because you really believe in him and he doesn't work out the way you expected. But if you find a guy that's a football player, I think you err a little bit more on, let's take him because I know he'll be able to get out there and contribute. And so I think also you look at the situation that you're in. Okay, we're rebuilding right now. Do you want to reach for a positional need when maybe you're not in that situation right now saying, yep, this is our year. We need to fill one or two holes and we're a championship roster. No, right now you're trying to build a complete roster. You're trying to build depth. You're trying to build competency. You got a new head coach first year. And so I think you're looking more for value right now. You're looking for football players. You're looking to build out a quality starting roster. And then when you get a little bit further down the line, hopefully in a couple of years, and you feel like you got that championship roster, you got that quarterback position locked up, then you have the ability, the luxury to be able to maybe reach for a position of need and take a chance on a guy that you're just not sure if he's going to fit, but if he hits, oh baby, he's going to hit.
Baby.
You got a Pro Bowler, you got a Hall of Famer, and you're going to the Super Bowl. So you got to kind of weigh that into it as well.
Beautiful. Hey, I'll get you out of here on
Great
this.
old baby, too.
I know that you are always ever evolving, adapt or die. Is there a meal or a food that you have prepared for either yourself or your family that is relatively new that you think maybe the masses should know about?
Oh, wow. That's a good one.
I can jump.
So
I got one
I'm
real
going to
quick.
make it tomorrow.
Okay.
So I did a Hall of Fame Wagyu short rib sous vide. I did 30 hours at 134. I'm going to slice it thin, and we're going to roll it in like a Korean barbecue sauce and just hit it in the cast iron super hot and do it with some fried rice and stuff like that. So I haven't done it before. I mean, it's kind of a typical, classic meal, but I haven't done it. And I'm excited to see how it turns out because usually you're doing short rib a little bit hotter, but I like to keep my Wagyu a little bit more rare so you can really taste the finish. You can taste the beef. You can
Sweet.
taste that amazing clean feed that we give it, that
Oh,
sweetness
man.
that
Yep.
comes with the Hall of Fame Wagyu. So I'll let you know how it goes.
Yep.
If I had a bit more time to prepare for this segment, I would maybe have a little better answer, but
No, I like
I'm
it.
excited about that one.
I like that one. That's an easy one, and it's a delight. I haven't thought about doing that, so you've inspired Hoff, as you often do.
I just sous
All
vide
right.
about a 4-pound semi-boneless, so it still has a small bone in it, leg of lamb.
Yeah.
That was,
A real delight.
oh my God, dude. Epic.
Hoff, good talking to you.
Hoff's the best.
We'll see you,
Hey,
buddy.
guys, I appreciate you
We
having
love
me
you,
on. It was
Hoff.
great chatting. Talk to you later, guys.
There he
Love you
goes.
too, man.
Yes.
See ya.
The great Hoff, Joe Thomas, joining us. We got the second hour of the program. We'll go around the league, among other things. Got a 7-round mock that we'll take a look at as well. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. And be part of one of the most passionate fan base of the NFL. Become a season ticket member today. Join us at Huntington Bank Field for all the home games this year. Visit Browns.com/tickets for more. Mock drafts, 7-rounder. Matt Miller on it. We talked about this a little bit earlier in the program. At number 6, your Cleveland Browns select out of Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate. Miller writes, based on their inaction at quarterback
Let's
so far,
go.
the Browns seem content to roll into 26 with Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gable, or Deshaun Watson. They could use this pick to help whoever is under center. Tate is the next man up in the talented Ohio State pipeline of receivers, and the sure-handed 6'2 receiver had just one drop last season. Tate could eventually take over for the inconsistent Jerry Jeudy as Cleveland's number 1 to form a young tandem with Isaiah Bond, last year's UDFA find.
I like that he likes Isaiah Bond. I think people are a little bit too down on Jerry Jeudy. I realized last year was not great, but 2 years ago he was quite good with competent quarterback play. And I'm talking about when he was there with Jameis, he looked like he was a Pro Bowler. He had a 200-something yard game. I think people are over, but all of a sudden, if you got Jeudy, Tate, Bond, Fannin, and your 11 personnel with Judkins back there, think about that. Those are all, with the exception of Jeudy, going to be first or second year players, all from big schools, all who have a lot of talent. And Jeudy was a first-round pick out of Alabama who's been a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
I mean, and for his career, has the same yards per target average as Amari Cooper did.
Yeah.
Last year was tough on our offense, and he did not have the best season, but I think it's very easy in that position. It's like a basketball player who's a scorer. You know, you're not getting the ball, you're getting it inconsistently, you're not getting in the spots you like. It wears on you. You're not going to be nearly as efficient as you are when everything's going the way that you like it to go.
Dude, you start the year with Joe, but you don't get Q right away. You have injuries up front, and then you play 2 rookies.
Yep.
With a banged up offensive line that got old in a hurry. All of these things contributed to it. So I obviously I would love the Carnell Tate pick. I would love it. I know you would as well. I just think you need a sure thing, and I obviously we need weapons in a big way, and I think he's both of those.
Yep.
So
I'm all in. At times I walk around and I walk around this building and I cough in the direction of certain people. I go like, Carnell Tate. And excuse me.
Sorry, what was that?
I don't know. I don't know what happened right there.
Miller with our
True story.
second first-round pick, South Carolina corner, beloved Gamecocks, Brandon Cisse. The Browns have talent at cornerback in Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell signed long-term contracts in their outside corner after Martin Emerson Jr. became a free agent. 6 foot, 189.
Can we just pause right there? Hold on. Let's just pause right there.
Yep.
If he's got to be able to play inside. Now, if he can play inside, I think that's fine. He said he has the frame and speed. That's the next sentence, and I told you to stop right there. But but they need another outside corner after Martin Emerson Jr. became free agent. Martin Emerson is one of my favorite people. I want him to be a Cleveland Brown for life. He is still available, so you know that this is not going to come at a high cost. He's coming off an injury. Andrew Berry made what I found to be interesting comments at the owners' meetings, which is that, MJ in the spot that he's in, coming off this, he wants to look for a spot where he's going to start. And with Tyson and Denzel here, that's, not likely. I know MJ wants to come back here.
Yeah.
Let's just find a way. And then, by the way, then you eliminate that. It would surprise me, by the way, if we ended up going a receiver, a tackle, and a corner with our first 3 picks, even if MJ were here.
Sure.
I think that, on the inside, you want to, improve there. Denzel's not going to play inside. Now, Tyson Campbell, he's somebody I think you could talk to. He's very physical. He's great in the run game. Could be your force defender from that slot position. I think he's got all the tools to do that. But he was elite, I thought, on the outside last year. But, there could be a world where you had MJ, Denzel, and Tyson on the field together. There could be a world in which you have MJ sometimes play against some of the big quote-unquote slots in our division, right, where a Mark Andrews lines up kind of in that position.
Yeah.
So I do think that there's a world where this works. And I just little me pounding the table, I want MJ Emerson to be on the Browns.
Here's my question. Or not even a question, here's my point. Denzel Ward not going to play full 17 games.
No, he's going to get better.
Tyson Campbell didn't miss any time, but every year your corners aren't going to play the full 17 games.
Having an awesome third outside corner who a couple of years ago was a guy that was playing at like a $20 million a year level and who happens to just be a tremendous human and a great teammate and a guy who is tough, who plays through injury, who does everything the right way. To me, that sounds like somebody that you want on your football team. And if you think about it, after his first 2 seasons in the league, MJ Emerson had 4 picks and 29 passes defense. Now, his third season in the league did not go the way that he wanted it to. And then his 4th season was wiped away due to injury. But his trajectory after the 2023 season was to be a big-time number one corner, and that was a great value at the third round, and he's out there. I just would like to keep him. I would very much like to find a way to do it. I think this is what here's the exact quote from Andrew Bear. Quote, selfishly, would love to have him back. I think we're also realistic with it with MJ and the injury that he's coming off of. To reach his personal goals, he's got to be in a position where maybe he has a strong opportunity to compete for a starting spot. That's probably a bit harder with how we're configured with Denzel and Tyson, but certainly if that changes, we would love to have him back. Let's do it. Let's have him back. Let's do it. Please.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you'd love
But
to
you're
see
right.
it, and then this takes that out of it at 24.
Right. Now, you could still end up getting a slot because this isn't – you could still draft a slot corner somewhere in there. But you're right. Denzel, career 13, 12, 12, 15, 14, 13, 16, 15. He's done 31 games out of the last 34. Fantastic. But there's always opportunities. Like, there are always opportunities to get guys in
you
there.
need a slot corner. It's a deep draft, actually, at the slot corner position.
Yeah. And Miles Harden, again, did a good job. But this is a sixth-round pick, and it's somebody that you're looking like, okay, can we – you're always trying to improve.
In our second round pick, number 39 overall, he has us taking Northwestern offensive tackle Caleb Tiernan. The Browns overlooked their offensive line this offseason, trading for Titus Howard, Elton Jenkins, Zion Johnson, re-signing Tevin Jenkins. But there's still a question at left tackle where DeJuan Jones returns from injuries, has yet to solidify his starting status. Tiernan is an underrated 3-year starter at left tackle who allowed only 4 sacks last season. There you go.
So there you get a tackle there. It just depends on where you want it, right? And could I see it go wide receiver, tackle, then corner? Could I see wide receiver, tackle, interior offensive lineman, wide receiver, tackle, linebacker? I could see a lot of things. Could it be a young edge? Could it be a defensive tackle? Again, I could see a lot of things here. I just think, to me, that pick at 6 has got to be a stud, and I feel like it is a very wonderful potential confluence of events in which your greatest need, as I see it, lines up with the best player who's there for you, as I see it, which is Carnell Tate. And then you just don't overthink it. You just take Carnell Tate.
The rest of his draft for us, linebacker out of Pitt, Kyle Lewis in the 3rd round, Auburn edge, Kayron Crawford in the 4th, Michigan defensive tackle Rayshawn Benny in the 5th, Missouri wide receiver Kevin Coleman Jr. in the 5th as well. In the 6th, Nebraska safety Deshaun Singleton, and in the 7th, tight end DJ Rogers out of TCU. In honor of how I was referred by Mr. Eisen at the Combine in a very loving way, here is Rich Blanken Eisen with Matt and the breakdown of the first 6 picks of his draft, ending with the Browns selection.
Let's start off at the very because we know it's Fernando Mendoza 1. And the pro day for Arvell Reese, there was a lot of negative coverage on that, actually, that I saw, that people were poo-pooing a little bit, the kid and his real pro day at the Ohio State. You still think the Jets choose him 2nd overall, Matt?
Yeah, I do. And I think the draft process is probably a little bit too long because we really start to over-evaluate things. When we're talking about shin angle, that stuff, there's a reason to measure it and to pay attention to it. But, I keep this sticky note on my desk that says draft good football players. Yeah. And I do think it ultimately has to go back to what did we see from August through Christmas? Who stood out? And then what we're supposed to do from then until now is to see, is there any type of outliers from a measurement standpoint or a medical standpoint, a statistical standpoint? You start to maybe weigh those things against the tape. For Arvell Reese, we know what he is. He is an upside. He's an ascending player. He only had 97 pass rush reps last year. So, no, he's not going to have the same toolkit that someone that's played defensive end for 4 or 5 years is going to have. That's just the nature of what we're getting with that prospect. So unfortunately, I think there's a little bit of over evaluation that happens with guys like him at the top of the class. I think you get some people that are either bored or some people that know that they will make a name for themselves by some degree by being a critic of a player that's widely known to be a top prospect. But I still think the Jets have that decision between Arvell Reese and David Bailey from Texas Tech. Which pass rusher do they want? You want the proven commodity of Bailey or the upside of Reese? I don't know that there's a wrong answer there, but I think that's where they're at right now.
And then that happens. The Cardinals do go with Francis Mauigoa from Miami. You think that is going to be Arizona's choice at the end of the day?
Yeah, I think given what Arizona has, where they're at right now, there's not a quarterback that they should take here. And I know a lot of people who are maybe just now coming into the draft process say, well, hey, they need a quarterback. Yes, they absolutely do. But there's not one that is valued in the top 10, 15 for me, not even in the top 32 picks this year, other than Mendoza. So Arizona would be wise to build that infrastructure for the quarterback that they can bring in next year in a very talent-rich quarterback crop that's expected. So I think setting the table, you have Paris Johnson Jr., you have Francis Manoa. Now you have those bookends that can protect for whomever that guy is next year. And you have some offensive weapons there. Trey McBride is a blue-chip tight end. Michael Wilson's a very good receiver. We hope that Marvin Harrison Jr. explodes and becomes the player that he was expected to be coming out of Ohio State now that they have a new scheme and eventually a new quarterback there.
Matt Miller here on the Rich Eisen Show. You have Jeremiah Love going to Tennessee 4th overall. Now, Matt, long before Adam Schefter showed up on Pat McAfee's show 4 times a week and is everywhere else on ESPN after that, he was born into television on NFL Network. And he and I talked a lot. And I knew him back in college. So I'm conversant in Schefter, as well as his body language. And him saying that there is no Tennessee Titan interest in Jeremiah Love, 4th overall, doesn't see it. And the way that he kind of looks and his face speaks volumes. You still think Jeremiah Love is going to go 4th overall to the Tennessee Titans at the end of the day over Schefter's knowledge and facial expressions, Matt?
I love Shefty, and
so do I.
Begged him. But the 5 years I've been at ESPN, I've begged him to do a mock draft. Right? Let's put that info out. Let's see what happens. But yes. I do also think that this is the time of year where things change. I can remember the year when it was, hey, San Francisco is going to take Mac Jones at 3. And everyone was adamant about that until about this time, 3.5 weeks before the draft. That's when things started to change. So I trust Shefty. I mean, I trust him with all the information. I would probably trust his weather forecast over my local weather guy.
I don't know about that.
I do think
that might be a little. Nah, Adam has reception, but maybe not Doppler. You know what I mean? Like that's not the radar he has. But
I think
why do you think?
There's time for decisions to change, and especially with free agency. Tennessee was active in free agency. They trade for Jermaine Johnson. They trade Tavondre Sweat, a very good nose tackle, for Jermaine Johnson. They get John Franklin Myers. So they've checked off those needs that you would think at the top of this draft they would be in a position to get an edge rusher. Well, they went and got 2 of those guys. And so you look at where they're at 4. If it's not Jeremiah Love, is it a little bit early on one of the wide receivers like Carnell Tate from Ohio State or Mekhi Lemon from USC? Do they see something in their offensive line that we don't, to where maybe they would say, okay, let's go with, a Spencer Fano from Utah or a Monroe Freeling or Caden Proctor? Maybe they think they need to go that route, but they have J.C. Latham and they have some other guys up front that they've invested in. So it really also gets to that point of like, logically, you're either quote unquote reaching for Jeremiah Love because he's a running back, or you're looking at other non-premium positions like Sonny Styles, who's a linebacker from Ohio State, or Caleb Downs, a safety from Ohio State. So I go back to Love as the best player in this class, in my opinion, and they have a need there. They absolutely have a need with Tony Pollard and Tyjae Sparks. Why not help out your guy in Cam Ward and give him this dynamic, rare running back prospect that can help put that offense over the top?
It makes sense. I mean, everybody talks about how he's Bijan right? And so why wouldn't you want to have that dynamic person right next to Cam Ward in his second year? In the same way that we've seen some mocks that Love somehow drops to Washington, 7th overall, and you can place him next to Jaden Daniels in his second full year, health obviously being good to him as the quarterback of the Washington Commanders. So let's say Love goes to Tennessee as you have in your mock. That leaves every other Ohio State player available for the Giants, and you think they go Downs. Why do you think that would be their choice 5th overall?
Yeah, and I think I said on your show at the Combine Race that I could see New York being in on Jeremiah Love if he happened to fall, past Tennessee. So that would be something worth watching. But I look at Caleb Downs, and we have John Harbaugh, the head coach of the New York Giants now. Historically, he's had some great safeties, Ed Reed, Kyle Hamilton. I think he values having that quarterback on the back end. Also a culture setter. Caleb Downs won at Alabama and Ohio State. He's played under Nick Saban. He's played under Matt Patricia. maybe he doesn't have those elite physical Derwin James type measurables, but he does have elite football character, IQ, instincts. He's versatile. He can play anywhere across the defense. And I've talked to offensive coaches in college who said, we taught our quarterbacks find number two before the snap. Just identify number two, and we're probably going to go away from him. And so I think for Harbaugh, where they would be at in this draft with the board falling this way, they no longer really need a middle linebacker because they went and got Tremaine Edmonds, but they do need a safety. And Downs could be that, I think, quarterback on the back end for them.
Okay, and then Tate would be available for the Browns. You think that would be Todd Monken's first draft choice?
I do. I think you don't have a quarterback, so you better get somebody that can catch the ball when it comes at them. So, again, don't reach for a quarterback in this draft. If you don't love Ty Simpson from Alabama, don't draft him this early. Carnell Tate had one drop last year. He has great hands, great route running ability, and he kind of fits the mold of where the NFL's these wide receivers like Puka Nacua and Jackson Smith and Jigba, guys who aren't elite in terms of speed, but their route running is professional. Like they're just ready to come in and run a full route tree, and they're able to separate because of that. That's what Tate is. He's never going to, 4.53 at the combine, kind of in that range for the 40-yard dash. It doesn't matter because he's able to get open with timing and great footwork, and he uses his 6'1", 200-pound frame really well to high point the ball and also to box guys out.
Sold, Matt. Sold.
Sign me up.
Let's go. We going around the league next? Sure. Listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. The new Rumpke Recycling Resource Center helps feeds the circular economy by supplying Ohio companies and others in the Midwest with material they need to put what you place in your bins to good use. Learn more about the facility, how you can recycle more. Visit rumpke.com today. Time to go around the league. As of today, the NFL Network is now being run by ESPN. You know,
It's a strange time over there because a lot of them don't know what's going to happen. Everybody's there's contract. They'll be on their contracts till they run out, but then they don't know what's going to happen.
It was a truly groundbreaking thing to attempt to do and to execute.
Yeah.
What, a quarter century ago? It was early 2000s. The first hire they made was
Eisen.
The great Eisen.
And
was the
now
first
he's
hire.
back at ESPN.
Now he's back at ESPN. And so that was the best. That was their signature hire. They were so smart in that they understood they were very calculated. Started out, all right, we're going to provide NFL. We're just going to talk about the NFL. We got all this NFL film stuff that we can run. We can run these, season reviews of all the teams that NFL Films put together. And then they said, you know what we could do is if we put games on Thursday night on NFL Network, then we can say, if you're not getting this, call your cable provider, your satellite provider, and you can get it.
Yep.
And then with that came ratings, and it's really the ESPN model, and then come cable buy, and all of a sudden that cable buy went up and up and up and up and up, and it got to a point where it really was there's no question that it was the blueprint for the Big Ten network, which allowed for the Big Ten to be the most profitable, rich conference in all of college athletics.
Yep.
They saw what that was, and Jim Delaney, who was then the commissioner of the Big Ten, copied the model. This will be interesting. It'll be very interesting. And I always tell folks, because I think, and you notice it at the Combine, we have a great many friends that work there. Siciliano worked there for a long time. The great Chris Rose, all sorts of great people who either have worked there or still do. And it's on in every facility. It's on in every facility from sun up to sundown all the time. And I'll be very interested to see what happens with it.
Well, you also have you have employees now, and we don't know who's where.
Yeah.
Because the league is still keeping NFL.com, and their game plan is to still put out content. So they're keeping certain writers, podcasters, whatever the case. If ESPN, I guess ESPN could pick and choose from what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And then they selected certain people that they wanted or that they had like a gap or a need for, and then everybody else is still technically an NFL employee, a league employee for the next 3 to 5 months as they figure out all this.
Yeah, it's going to be fast.
So like they're still putting out content like podcasts and videos, and like you're still if you're not an ESPN employee today, you're still working for the NFL.
Yeah, I think the apex of the NFL Network for me, I'm curious what you think on this. For me, it would have been about 8 to 10 years ago when they had Good Morning Football with Nate and Schreggs and
Kay Adams.
Kyle and Kay, and then Thursday night and the Thursday night pregame show with Colleen and Hoff and Siciliano was involved in.
It's even like 5 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably like 18, 19, 20, somewhere in there. So that's what I mean, like 10 years. Like
sure.
From like
sure.
15 to 21.
Yep.
I mean, Andrew would know it for sure.
Because the Hoff's been off for 3 years, right? This was Amazon's.
Or is it this the fourth year of it? I don't know.
No,
Is
definitely
it just
not
third?
fourth. Is it just third?
Third year of Amazon? Could be.
Coming up, I think it's a third.
But
Yeah, it might only
even
been two.
before
Yeah.
that, like Good Morning Football went in a little
Yeah,
different
yeah.
place
Sure.
than it was. There was a time there though when it was really clicking. You think about like Eisen and Mayock on the draft, where it was like you had a real choice. Like, we're going to watch ESPN or we're going to watch the NFL Network. Like their level was of that level.
Yeah.
Kay, just timing for you. Kay and Nate both officially left Good Morning Football in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember 21, we were on the phone with Kay.
Years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
Kay was supposed to come here, and then our game got postponed because everybody.
Kay
got
may have
COVID.
been later, but Nate Burleson left in August of 2021.
Felt like they left pretty close to the same time.
Kay
But
might
either
have
way,
been 22.
something like that. But that was like from a content perspective.
May
that was
22.
like to me, that was like
Yeah.
when it was at their strongest.
Yeah, I think like 18, 19, 20 was
They had
peak.
Yeah, and every show they did it was just so good. Everything was. Their insiders were great, all of it.
It was. Well, I don't know about
Not all of them.
not all.
Well,
Not all of them.
maybe one of them. What will be interesting, and I saw this, Andrew Marchand had this, as part of the deal, the NFL regains control over 4 regular season games that had previously aired on NFL Network. This will mark the end of the brief experimentation in Monday Night Football crossover games.
Yep.
One on ABC, one at ESPN at the same time, with Disney shifting some of its ESPN games onto NFL Network, which it will own if the deal closes, which the deal has closed since.
So what does this mean? They're going to
So the NFL gets 4 games back to do with however they see fit.
Oh, they'll put them on streamers then.
There you go. That's
Yeah,
where
they'll
that's
stream
going to
'em.
go. But it will be their people.
I love the staggered start Monday nighters.
I enjoyed it.
Especially when one of my teams when my team isn't involved. I really like it, so you can kind of bounce around and watch a couple of games. I think it's really nice. I think the one thing you want to be, I'm curious, like so ESPN with their one game, they're going to run that in prime time. So then will Prime or Netflix or somebody run up against that, or will they try to stagger their start to where they're not competing against an NFL entity?
That's a good question. I think the Staggereds were great.
Me too.
I
like
loved
'em.
them. Yeah, bring those back.
Yeah.
I don't know. By the way, I just looked this up right here. 2019
Okay.
NFL Network key talent and programs. Good Morning Football, Kay Adams, Kyle Brandt, Nate Burleson, Peter Schrager. NFL Game Day Mornings. That was their pregame show. Eisen, Kurt Warner, Michael Irvin, and Mooch. NFL Game Day Kickoff, which was their Thursday night show. Colleen Wolfe, Joe Thomas, Steve Smith, and Irv. Other talent around: Lindsey Rhodes, Scott Hansen, Willie McGinnis, David Carr, James Jones, Andrew Siciliano, Daniel Jeremiah, Anthony Freeland, Tom Pelissero, Bucky Brooks, Brian Baldinger, Stacey Dales, and Jane Slater.
What year is that?
2019.
That's it.
That was it.
That's it.
That's
18, 19. That's it. That's the.
And you had good reporters with Slater, Omar Ruiz, our guy.
Omar,
Yeah.
yep.
You know,
Omar should
a lot of
should
good
have been
dudes.
listed there. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. A couple other news and notes. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN with an article today, trouble growing in Philly. You guys saw the screen grabs of this. I mean, I think we kind of knew they were getting there,
We did.
but this is a little bit of a different level of it.
It's interesting, too, because I think there were up to a dozen team sources. It feels like a little bit of a hatchet job on your quarterback. It also feels like maybe to say, hey, the way you've been going about your business isn't going to work for us. But then it's like, why'd you give him that contract? And Jalen Hurts is, I've said, obviously a Super Bowl champion, played great in both Super Bowls. Look at his
Awesome.
stats in
Yeah,
both
he's
Super
one of the
Bowls.
best players on the field in both.
Phenomenal. He, for a while with the tush push, he made it so you were playing 1st and 9 instead of 1st and 10. That's a 10% advantage over everybody else. But clearly their offense, something was wrong last year. The new offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore left to become a head coach, so you couldn't say he couldn't wait to get out of there. But the new offensive coordinator clearly did not have the ability to control, and Jalen feels like changed plays and did whatever kind of he wanted to do a lot of times, which frustrated a great many people. I know it's an interesting situation there. It feels like this is a big kind of make or break.
What do you make about my read on it kind of was that I mean, we've all heard the whispers, obviously.
Sure.
But like, it makes me like, are they at the point where the only way they think they could communicate with Jalen is via the media
It must
to get it to sink in?
It must be, because
There are
otherwise
12
you
sources.
don't do that.
No.
No, that's definitely a little bit of it's a hit piece for sure.
Yeah, and so now you're in a position where now this is going to dominate your off season.
Oh yeah.
When he's available, it's going to be dominant. That's not a media market this isn't like Jacksonville or Carolina or Tennessee where it can disappear with something else that happens. I mean, it's Philly.
Yep.
Yeah. So that one was
It
very
feels like
interesting.
somebody said, I read this, and I don't know who I read this from, but let me just tell you what they said. And it feels like Jalen Hurts is starting to enter Russell Wilson territory, where things start, all of a sudden his teammates don't like him. All of a sudden, he's not playing as well as he was playing. All of a sudden it's about him and not everybody else, and he's not as coachable and not as tough, and he's a little out there and blah, 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 blah.
A lot of similarities between the two in their game and their and approach,
Sure.
even physically. A
Yeah.
lot of similarities. One other thing here, one final item from the league meetings. The Jaguars proposal to play their home games in 2027 in Orlando during the final year of their renovation of Everbank Stadium, unanimously approved by the NFL at the league's annual meeting. Are they playing at the UCF Stadium?
I believe so, yes.
That's brand new.
By the way,
It'll
is
be
that
smaller,
not?
but it'll
Are
be-
they not on our road trip schedule this year?
Well, it says 2027.
27,
This is
so we'll be,
26.
we'll be out of it.
There
I was
you
hoping for this year.
Yep.
Sorry.
Sorry.
They will be in London town.
Maybe.
Well, there's a chance.
Maybe. So you're saying there's a chance. We're going to do a little. Are we doing a little higher, lower, a little ranking? A little ranking fun?
Yeah, why don't we do that? We'll move the NFL topic that I have to.
Oh, you.
tomorrow.
You're the world, brother. You're the head honcho.
No,
I'll do
let's
whatever you
move
want.
that to tomorrow.
Okay, we'll have a little fun with the
What is going on?
I don't know, people
various
are-
people.
There's
Very
an
excited.
entourage.
Hey, how you
Great
doing?
to see you.
Hey,
There
good
you
to
go.
see
There
you.
you go.
How
We'll do
are
that
ya?
coming. Oh, I should tell you this. Get ready, Browns fans, with 2 first-round picks in the 2026 NFL Draft, celebrating one of the most exciting nights of the year with the 2026 free Browns Draft Party. In association with Canada Dry, you're invited. Join us at Cleveland Public Auditorium, downtown Cleveland, to enjoy player and alumni photos, autographs, live DJ, giveaways, and more. Make sure you claim your tickets to this free event on Tuesday, April 7th, 10 a.m. Visit browns.com/draft party 2026 for more information. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. Add more fun to your fan of the Bally Bet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place your first wager of 10 or more. Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. April, not great here, but it's pretty great when it comes to sports, Gibby. How
Not
are
too
you?
shabby, kids.
All right, we got
So-
a little job here.
So I got this list, and it doesn't even include MLB. What does that tell you?
It's a good list.
It's a good list.
Yeah.
Before we do this, I want to have to say something to you guys that you guys I think will find interesting. As a child,
Okay.
my favorite candies were when I'd get swim lessons, we'd get the mini Reese's Peace and Buttercups, Delights,
Yep.
and then Reese's Pieces. I loved Reese's Pieces. So as you may or may not be aware, they have gone away from the original recipes using cheaper ingredients and substitutes and all of these things over the last few
have
years,
not.
which is why it's
know that.
not nearly as good. However, Hershey has said today it will now go back and use classic recipes for all Reese's products starting next year, a change that comes after the grandson of the Reese's founder criticized the company for shifting to cheaper ingredients and said it tasted like garbage.
Let's go.
This grandson's a hero.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
Let's go.
Yeah, how about that?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. Good.
good. It's
Good.
good to know. It's good
You
to
see
know.
that whole thing?
Young Master Luca will know a pure, true
He's
Reese's
going to know
Pieces.
he'll love it.
How would you not? It's
gonna be
ET
delicious.
phone home, baby.
So good.
Come on.
Yeah, delight.
So good.
Delight.
So good.
What were you going to say? Because I got
Wasn't
a
there-
feeling we were going down the same road.
Do you have it? Is it the Kit
the
Kat?
Kit Kat?
Yeah.
12 tons
12 tons of Kit Kats.
stolen
A heist in Italy.
Okay.
in Europe. They said
What-
it will not affect anything. And-
What do you do with them?
But that's the thing.
once
How do you monetize that?
That's
That's-
what I'm asking.
Yeah,
It is
nothing. I
12
thought about this
tons
the other
of
day.
Kit Kat Formula One chocolate bars equaling 413,793 candy bars.
Good
Stolen
grief.
after
It's a couple
leaving its
million
production
bucks.
site in central Italy last week.
Yeah, what do you do with it? How do you repurpose it?
Here's
Right,
my
I don't know how
question.
you monetize it.
Did you somehow mistake the wrong truck to rob?
That's what I'm
And you
wondering.
got all excited and you open the doors and you're like, what the hell is this?
As you're saying that, I imagine like Maltasanti calling Tony. Hey,
Yo,
T,
Toe.
T,
Hey,
yo,
T.
T. You know that truck that was supposed to have the stereos or whatever? It's chocolate.
It's
Kit
Kit
Kats.
Kats.
What did you say? You can almost picture it.
It's
What did you
Kit Kat.
boost?
And by the way, the Kit Kats belong to the other family. The Kit Kats belong to the other
The other
family.
family. Yeah, Johnny Sack somehow was going to get
Yeah.
the Kit Kats. Yeah, that's how that works. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That's crazy to me.
I do love a Kit Kat. I love a Kit Kat, a Twix, Reese's Pieces. Those are all my, not that I partake in them, but those are ones that I look for the boys. They're all winners.
Amen.
All right, we're ranking.
The April sports calendar is loaded. We ask you to rank the following sports in April from best to worst,
Okay.
or maybe the most appealing to you and the least appealing.
Okay.
How about not the worst? Because they're all very good.
Yep.
You have the women's Final Four and National Championship,
Yep.
the men's Final Four and National Championship, the Masters, the NBA play-in tourney, the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs, WrestleMania, and the draft.
Okay. There's 8 things here. Do I have that right?
That's right.
Okay. This is interesting because if I do this from where I am now in life versus where I was as a kid, it would be a very different list.
If
mean,
had
we
to-
could take out the
could go-
draft. The
you could
draft's
go
not
10 years ago for me, and this list would look really different.
Yeah. All right. 1 to 8 or 8 to 1?
Go 8-1 if you can.
Yep.
All
I
right.
can.
You got about 6 minutes.
All right.
You're
Number 8 for you, Dr. Z.
The NBA play-in tournament.
Same.
good. Amen.
I mean,
I think people thought that would be something. I remember Simmons pitching that constantly to keep more teams in it. I just don't care.
Don't
care. Yeah. It's number 8 for me too. I don't know if it's working. Do you get a sense that it's working? I don't follow the association the way that I used to. I don't know if it's worked or not. My hunch is it hasn't. I don't think that
it's
in-season
fine, but it's, who
tournament works
cares?
either. I
Then
just don't
you-
care.
then the playoffs actually start.
Yeah, and
By the way, in the first round, it's 40-some days.
also true. And in the way back machine, when it was a best of 5 in the first round,
Yes.
there was a better opportunity for upset. for 1-8, like that happened a couple of times, you just don't. You're never going to see it. You're never going to see OKC's not losing to whoever the 8 seed is. So yeah, that's 8.
I also think it's kind of like saying it's hard to lump this next to the playoffs. It's just like the first 4 or the last 4 final, whatever the heck it's called in the tournament. Like, yeah, who cares? Let's start the tournament on Thursday.
Yep.
Although it was fun this year because of Miami. Like, I guess if there's a team that you care about,
Yeah.
then it's fun for you. Otherwise, who cares?
Who cares? Yeah.
Number 7.
Number 7.
Oh, good job. Go ahead, sir. You
I
have
have the NHL playoffs. Boo. Sorry, young Gabriel.
This one's a little tricky. I mean, and again, this is part of where I am. I would say for me, probably NBA playoffs.
Really?
Would be 7, because it's April,
It's early.
and so like it's a slog. It takes forever. I can't make a big deal. It feels like we rarely get upsets. It feels like, all right, let's just get to the next
Agreed.
round.
I do like the fact that it's always on every night. There's always a
Yeah.
so you can, if you need it in the background, you can throw it on.
Yeah. I got NBA playoff 7.
Okay.
Next.
Number 6.
This tells you how far this company has fallen under the leadership of Triple H. WrestleMania is 6. There's a time when WrestleMania would have been a hard one.
That's amazing because
Hard.
Amen.
so it's
Hard
6 for
one.
me too.
Yeah. The fact that you and I have that on the same line is
It's
insane.
pretty crazy because I really don't watch it all. I just kept it up there because a couple of years ago we watched and the kids kind of liked it.
Now-
but I don't even know what's going on. They haven't asked about it in forever.
Because it's garbage. It's horrible. It's Triple H is the worst.
Isn't that something?
He's so bad. He's
He's
bad.
in charge of all the
Oh yeah, and he's
story
such an-
decisions.
and he's such an egomaniac, and he just doesn't get it, and it's terrible. And when you lose somebody like me, you know it's really bad.
yeah.
Little buzz this year. Very little.
It's terrible. And like the last time I cared about WrestleMania was when The Rock came back, and they even,
They botched
in
that.
my opinion, they ruined that. Now it produced an unbelievable tag match and great moments and a great finish and all that, but it should have been Rock and Roman. It's what it should have been. That's a real WrestleMania match. Instead now. I was looking at something in like the heyday of the WWE. All of the top guys were between, I think, 27, which would have been The Rock on the young end. Now he was 25 the first time he became world champion. We're all between kind of like 27 and 35.
Yeah.
All of them.
Peak of your athletic powers.
Everybody who's in a main event spot, they're all in their 40s.
Oh my gosh.
All
Just
of them.
old
And it's all the
dudes.
same people. It's
So no
Roman's
new,
fighting CM Punk. Cody Rhodes is fighting Randy Orton. Like, those are the
we're
top
still
2
doing
matches.
so he can't develop new talent.
No.
Yeah.
And then the
Next.
one new talent they've got going, Braun Breaker got hurt, unfortunately. Obafemi is good. He's going to fight Brock Lesnar. That'll be cool. But then Triple H inserts himself into that. Like, nobody needed you in this.
Yeah.
There was a guy, an independent guy, who obviously was working as a security guard
2
who
minutes.
took one of the most
2
insane
minutes.
bumps I've ever seen in my life and should have gotten paid billions of dollars. Probably doesn't have a leg that works anymore.
Next.
All right. On that note, number 5, women's Final Four.
Same. Now this can go up if you get a Caitlin Clark situation.
Sure.
Then I'm in.
Yeah.
Then I'm a little bit more in. Or Paige Beckers last year. I'm excited about that. All 4 1 seeds again in the women's tournament. There is no parity in women's basketball.
Nope.
Closest game any one of the 4 1 seeds played was UCLA won by 12. That's the closest. Every other game was 20 plus in their whole run through. They just
Go
annihilated.
Gamecocks. Don Staley.
Let's go.
Friend
Next.
of Deuce.
Number 4.
NBA playoffs for me, Doc.
This is where I would have NHL playoffs, and that's just because
Wow.
of. First of all, you get 8-1 upsets in the NHL. Like it can happen.
And
anytime.
So you'll like
Time's
watch
undefeated.
NHL playoff games.
Well, there's
Sure.
the Columbus Blue Jackets. So if they're in it, then then
Yeah.
I'd be paying attention to that.
Are they going to be in it?
They're in now.
No.
Yeah.
Young Gabriel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 minute.
All right. Real quickly, 3 men's Final Four for me.
I have
2 NFL draft.
I have NFL draft. I love the build up to it. The actual execution sometimes can be cumbersome.
And 1
It's
the
fun.
Masters.
I got men's Final Four, 2 Masters 1, and that's a Final Four when I was a kid would have been 1.
Yep.
But the 4 days of the Masters, I really look forward to.
Yeah. So we have
it's
pretty
awesome.
similar lists. I mean,
Who's your number
WrestleMania
one,
being
Gibby?
at the same for us is wild.
That is.
30.
That's the
I
upset.
would go Masters or NFL draft.
Yeah.
Those are my top
the
2.
draft.
Gibby.
I love the draft. I like all 3 of those. I mean, you're talking Masters, Final Four, and NFL draft.
Wonderful
Those are all
things.
home run entities. Enjoy your first Friday, kids. Act accordingly out there. We're back tomorrow. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland.